Hello guys, welcome back to our channel BioLab, and this is VAMSI. In today's video we will be discussing the last part of our lecture, that is locomotion. We will be discussing appendicular skeleton. And this will be your last class. Your last class on locomotion will be this one. 1 minute, let me just adjust the camera little back. Yes. This will be your last class on locomotion. Yes, that's the interesting thing, that what I want to convey. And also we'll be discussing about joints. All the last part today we'll be covering. We'll also be discussing about disorders, and then we will be closing the session. Yes, yeah guys, as you all asked me for MCQ series, give me a 2 days time or a day time, then I'll be preparing all the MCQs, and then we'll be starting the MCQ series from day after tomorrow, or tomorrow itself only. Yeah, I cannot say. If I require time, I will be taking, then I'll be uploading the MCQ series from day after tomorrow. If not, I'll be uploading it tomorrow only. So yes, please do not put anything, just leave it to me. I'll be taking care of the MCQ series. You just revise the chapters which we have completed, like microbes. We have completed till now microbes. We have also completed plant, in plant physiology we have completed plant growth and development, and we have completed locomotion as we have already completed just now. I hope all of you have written notes and also revised it, or you can revise it in the last, since we have only completed the locomotion. So starting from microbes, I'll be starting with the MCQ series. So you revise the microbes and come back when I upload the video. Okay guys, yes, without any further ado, let's get into the video. Those are the MCQs, or those are the announcements I wanted to make you understand about the MCQ series. So before watching the MCQ series, you have to complete the full chapter and then watch, then it will be a productive. Okay, yeah, as I said, today we will be discussing about appendicular skeleton. It is nicely written there. Now, what is appendicular skeleton? Let's understand this appendicular skeleton in a simple terms. Sorry, I'm using white. No. Appendicular skeleton in a simple terms. Appendages. What do you mean by appendages? Yeah, limbs attached, the things or the skeleton which is attached laterally to the axial skeleton is called as appendicular skeleton. It generally consists of appendages, lateral appendages, like our limbs, forelimbs, hands, hind limbs. Our legs are hind limbs, but in some organisms, hind limbs, like dogs, hind limbs are the back legs. Yeah, forelimbs are the forward legs. Yes, that is constituent of appendicular skeleton. And another thing which we haven't heard it till now is girdles. Girdles are also constituent parts of appendicular skeleton only. What are these girdles? We will be seeing a little while later when we complete this limbs. Okay guys, yes, let me read it for you what is written here. It forms the lateral skeleton to the axial skeleton, which includes limbs and girdles. Yes, lateral skeleton, this is the lateral side, and this is the axial skeleton. It is forming the lateral skeleton to the axial skeleton, and which includes limbs and girdles. Interestingly, each limb is made up of 30 bones and these limbs are constituents of forelimbs and hind limbs. Yes, in humans we call forelimbs as hands and hind limbs as legs, but that's the different thing and different part. So in general we call it as forelimbs and hind limbs. Now let's come into forelimbs. Let's discuss about forelimbs first of all. These are called as hands in humans. They have 30 bones which are divided into 6 parts. These 30 bones are divided again into 6 parts. They are First one humerus, second one radius. We have humerus one, radius one. See, let me show you uh, this one, the part which is we call it as a triceps and biceps. Yes, the part, this part. See, from your shoulder joint till your elbow joint, the part here is called as humerus. Is anyone having humerus too? I'm asking for each limb, not total body. Yeah, we have only one humerus here. 1 minute. Yeah, here from the elbow part to the wrist part, this part includes two types of bones which are called as radius and ulna. You can see here, see this. Yeah, see here, this is your humerus, this one is your humerus, this part is your radius, and this part is your ulna. See, here there are two bones, here there is only one bone. Hope you are getting. This is your elbow joint, this is your shoulder joint. Now coming to carpals, these carpals are nothing but wrist bones. These carpals are wrist bones. Let me write it here. Ulna one completed. These are also called as wrist bones. Wrist bones, these are 8 bones. It is very interesting to learn that these are 8 bones. This wrist only consists of 8 bones. They are small parts. See, here you can see. 1 minute. Yes, I would not be visible, I hope. Yeah, for some time I will not be visible. Please concentrate on the diagram here. See, this part consists of 8 bones, 8 small bones. They are called as carpals. Okay, they are called as carpals. Now let me again be visible onto the screen. A little zoom in. Yeah guys, this setting takes a little time because the videos, recording videos is not just sitting in front of the computer, putting a tab, writing on it and telling you. No, it includes much concentratedness. So that is why. Yeah, now let's continue. We have completed 4 parts now. Now the 5th part is your metacarpals. What are metacarpals? What are carpals? Wrist bones. What are metacarpals? The bones which are attached to the wrist. These are the bones. See here, the bones which are present here, which attach your wrist to fingers, these are called as metacarpals. There are 5. As we have 5 fingers, there are 5. Metacarpals are 5. Yeah, very simple. The bones which attach your wrist to your hand, fingers. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here also is the same part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For understanding these, please do not put everything into your brain. Be practical. Like, you have to relate these to your original body. Humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, phalanges 14. Phalanges are also called as digits. Yes, these. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now when you close your fingers, how many bends do you get? Those many phalanges are present in each one. See, here I am getting 3 bends. One, it is bending here. One, it is bending here. One, it is bending here. So 1, 2, 3. Here also same, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4 fingers will have 3 phalanges. And the thumb finger is only having 2 phalanges. So you can write the formula for phalanges: 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. This is your formula for phalanges. For either it is forelimb or either it is a hind limb. This is your formula, you have to remember it. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move on to hind limbs. Hind limbs, they are also called as legs in humans. They are mostly helpful or mostly used in running, walking, body balancing, etc. Locomotion. But usually forelimbs are used in locomotion, like in certain animals like dogs, cats, those use forelimbs for locomotion, but we humans use hind limbs for locomotion. Okay, that's what I am trying to convey in this lines. Okay, now they are same in number, that is 30 bones. There are also, as we have spoke before, there are also 30 bones, and they are again divided into 6 types, and those are femur. Yeah, it is the longest bone in our body. It is the longest bone in our body. We have one femur in one hind limb. So total body we have 2 femurs, 2 humerus, 2 radius, 2 ulnas. Okay, got it. So one limb consists of one femur, one hind limb consists of one femur. Now one hind limb consists of tibia. Now look at this diagram here, small diagram, which is, now concentrate on the diagram. I will not be visible. See, this is your 1 minute, guys. 1 minute, I'm getting a call. So yeah, sorry, that was a call from my father, so I have to attend it. Yeah, see this. This is your femur part. Please do not think that in diagram it is this much and it is the longest bone you are saying. No, brother. See, this diagram is just an illusion that our bones look like this. They are arranged in the manner of these. So that is what. Yeah, this is your femur. This part, the below your ankle, below your knee consists of tibia and fibula. This is your tibia part, the back one. The front one is your fibula part. There is one tibia, one fibula in each limb, in each hind limb. As we have carpals as wrist bones in the forelimbs, we have tarsals as ankle bones in hind limb. Interestingly, they are 7 in number. Wrist bones are 8 in number, but tarsals are 7 in number. Similar to metacarpals, we have metatarsals. These are your metatarsals. They are also 5 in number. Metatarsals are 5, but tarsals are 7. Similarly, we have digits, 14 digits or 14 phalanges in hind limb. See, now completed, so let me get back. While you are studying these, you have to compare and study. You have to use comparison technique. See, hind limbs, we are taking hind limbs. We are taking forelimbs. They are having similarities. Similar structures are present here also. Femur and humerus are similar to each other. Like not similar, but you can assume, or you can just compare between like that. Femur and hind limbs, humor and forelimbs. Tibia and radius, fibula and ulna, tarsals and carpals, metatarsals and metacarpals, phalanges. Completed. How simple it is. We have an extra bone called as petula. Let me use black color. Sorry, I am saying petula. Sorry, patella, which is present in your kneecap region. It is found as your kneecap. It is like this triangular bone, something. Yeah, like this. So this patella is your kneecap, and it is formed by the ossification of tendon. So that is why it is called as sesamoid bone. Completed. We have completed limbs. Successful. Claps for ourselves. Yeah, shabash. Now let's move on to girdles. These girdles are very interesting, so I made it more interesting by pasting these X-rays. Yeah, here you can see your X-ray. I don't know whose X-ray is this. I just got it on Google. Yeah, everything is there. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, guys, one. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll be arranging this. Okay. 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 Let's leave it like this and then. Okay. Yeah. Now everything is visible. Now let's move on to girdles. There are two types of girdles forming one, the upper body and the lower body respectively. There are two types of girdles. What are the function of these girdles? These girdles simply help in the articulation of the upper body limbs and the lower body limbs. You can say forelimbs and hind limbs. We have two types of girdles called as pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pelvic region which is present in the lower body, so pelvic girdle is present in the lower body. Pectoral girdle, pectoral region, if pelvic girdle is present in the lower body, then pectoral girdle is present in the upper body. So pectoral girdle helps in the articulation of forelimbs. Pelvic girdle helps in the articulation of hind limbs, and each girdle is formed of two halves. There are two halves in each girdle. Each half of the, first we are talking about pelvic girdle. I have written in running matter, so please do not worry. Each half of the pelvic girdle consists of a clavicle and clavicle and scapula. So it is not visible to you. Yeah, it is scapula. Scapula, clavicle, clavicle and scapula. A scapula, what is a scapula? It is a large flat bone present dorsally from 2nd rib to 7th rib. It is triangular in shape. So the bone of scapula is somewhat like this. It is present from 2nd rib to 7th rib. 2nd rib to 7th rib here, dorsal side to the ribs. That is called as scapula, and this scapula including the clavicle. This clavicle is also called as collarbone. Yeah, shirt collar is here, so that is why it is called as collarbone. Remember like this. This is your clavicle. It is a long bone. It is a long bone clavicle, not longest all over the body, but it is a long bone called as, generally called as the collarbone. Yeah. In the diagram, come to the diagram now. This is your clavicle. No, red is much far better. Yeah, right. See, this is your clavicle. This bone. See here. 1 minute. Let me show you with mouse. See, this bone is your clavicle bone. This. Now, since it is your clavicle bone, the back one here. Hope you are seeing it or no, I don't know. This bone is your scapula. This one is your scapula. This one is your scapula. Now this scapula is having a bony tip on the outer edge, a bony tip on your outer edge here. It is having a bony tip, and this bony tip is called as acromion. This bony tip is called as acromion. What is acromion? It is the outer edge that comes off the top of the backside of this bone is called as acromion. It is just a protruding from the scapula bone, and this acromion helps in clavicle articulation with the scapula. Now let's see in the diagram where is this acromion. So see, if this is clavicle, this is acromion, then this is scapula, this is acromion. See how these two are articulated here. This is the point of articulation. So this is your acromion and this is your clavicle. Got it? Got it? Look at the diagram. Look at the diagram. For some time, leave me. Look at the diagram. If you want, if you also don't look at me, I don't have a problem. But look at the diagram here. This is your clavicle. This is your acromion. This is your point of articulation. Got it? Got it? Yes, sir. Very good. Yes, bro. Very good. Yeah. This is your point of articulation. Okay, acromion. That is called as acromion. So that is why I took a picture which is of X-ray. Then we will be understanding it very perfectly. These are your ribs. These are your ribs. From second rib, if we think, I don't know which is second rib, but if you think this is second rib, from here till the seventh rib, the scapula is present, and this is your acromion, which helps in the articulation of clavicle with the scapula. Now, shoulder joint is formed by the articulation of head of humerus with the glenoid cavity. Now, before moving into this, what is glenoid cavity? First of all, let's clear all this. Glenoid cavity, it is a cavity or hollow space which is present below the acromion. So see this. This is your glenoid cavity. This space are you finding it in the X-ray? See this space. See my mouse cursor here. That is called as glenoid cavity. That is called as glenoid cavity, and this is your head humerus, and this is your head of humerus. It is articulating with this glenoid cavity, therefore forming a shoulder joint here. Finished. Now repeat with me. This is your clavicle. This is your acromion. This is your scapula. This is your head of humerus. This is your glenoid cavity. It is articulating. This whole is called as shoulder joint. Shoulder joint. Shoulder joint. Boomer bowling. Yeah, he is using shoulder joint. That joint is ball and socket joint. We will be seeing in further when we come to joints. Yeah. Completed. Completed pectoral girdle. Moving on to pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle also, let's finish it fast. Nothing is there. Similarly, each pelvic girdle is made up of two halves, similar to the pectoral girdle. Each half of the pelvic girdle consists of two coxal bones. Let's stop here. Coxal bones. Here, when you come to pectoral girdle, each half is made up of a clavicle and scapula. But here there are coxal bones. Coxal bones. Each half consists of two coxal bones, and these two coxal bones are formed by the fusion of three bones. Again, they are called as ilium, ischium, and pubis. Ilium, ischium, and pubis. I will be showing you here in the diagram. 1 minute. Or let me zoom them. No zooming. Again, it will be come and let me show you with my mouse cursor on. See this one. Let me try to draw this picture first of all. It is somewhat like this. This fellow must be good. Okay, it is somewhat like this, but it is not exactly like this, but just for our convenience. Yeah, our convenience. See, this one is your ilium. In the X-ray also you can see this one is your ilium. It is called as iliac vein. Yeah, hip bone. It is hip bone. Yeah, this one is your ilium. This down one is your pubis. This is your pubis region. It is present in the pubis region. This one is your ischium. Here, as there was a glenoid cavity, here we have acetabulum. It is not named cavity, please remember it. Acetabulum. In pectoral girdle we have glenoid cavity which articulates the head of humerus. But similar to the humerus, I have told you that in your hind limbs we have femur. So this femur head attaches or articulates with acetabulum. acetabulum, not here but here, down here. Acetabulum, see this blue color and red color, this is your acetabulum, this is your head of femur, this is your femur, attaching, completed, thereby forming an hip joint, but in four limbs, the head of humerus and the glenoid cavity form the shoulder joint, but here the hip joint is formed by the head of femur and acetabulum. Ilium, ischium, pubis are the parts of coxal bones, and each half of the pelvic girdle is made up of two coxal bones, and they are articulated ventrally here. This is your spine. Okay, got it, completed, girdles completed. Let's move on to joints. Yeah, these joints are very simple, very easy. This running matter is not of much importance, no importance at all, but I'll be saying you on which basis we have classified the joints here. These joints have been classified into three types based on the movement restriction. Like either they can allow whole movement, or they will not allow any movement at all, or they permit a little movement. So the joints which do not allow movement at all are called as fibrous joints, and these fibrous joints are found in the sutures. We have already seen when we are discussing about the sutures, cranium. There, these fibrous joints are present there. These are made up of dense fibrous connective tissue. Let's move on to the second one. Cartilaginous joints, they are made up of cartilages, as you can see here, cartilages, and they permit a little movement. Like bending. So your vertebral column is made up of this cartilaginous, two adjacent vertebrae. This is one vertebrae, this is other vertebrae. Here we have the presence of cartilaginous joints. So they permit bending. So they permit a little, they restrict only a little movement. They restrict complete movement, fibrous joints, but these cartilaginous joints allow a little movement. So that is why we are able to bend. Now, synovial joints, these allow complete movement. And they are characterized by the presence of synovial fluid. Which helps in movement. Got it? They are again divided into types based upon their location: ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, gliding joint, saddle joint. Now, ball and socket. Remember one thing. Ball and socket. A baller, if he wants to bowl, he has to rotate his arm like this. When he is rotating his arm, there is a presence of ball and socket joint here. So ball is this, socket is this. Now there is full movement. If you take your car gearbox also, it acts as a ball and socket joint. It is 360 degree rotation is possible like this. 360 degrees rotation. So this is your socket ball full rotation. Socket, see this glenoid cavity is your socket, head of femur is your ball, glenoid cavity like this, movement 360 degrees. Got it? That is your ball and socket. Remember baller, like ball. And this ball and socket joint is present here as well as in your hip joint, where the heads of femur and humerus attach with the respective cavities like glenoid cavity and acetabulum. There you have your ball and socket joint. Hinge joint. Have you ever seen hinge of your door? It only allows movement in like this. See, if you want to open the door, you cannot push it like this, push it away, it will be again 360 degrees rotate and come here. No, hinges only allow a particular movement like this. You push the door, it goes like this, it comes vertically, then it stops. So same hinge joint. See here, if this is your door, this is your wall, Here is your hinge joint. Elbow joint is your hinge joint. Now I'm allowing a restricted movement like this. Now this hinge joint is also present in your knee. In your knee. Knee also consists of hinge joint. Now pivot joint. Pivot joint is something special to remember. The first vertebrae is atlas. The second vertebrae is called as axis, and the joint present between these two is called as pivot joint. Complete. Axis and atlas. The joint present between atlas and axis is called as pivot joint. Gliding joint. Gliding. See here the bones of carpals glide over one over the other. So wrist bones have gliding joint. And saddle joint. This is saddle joint. 1 minute. Let me check. I also forgot. Yeah. This saddle joint, this saddle joint is present in the metacarpal of your thumb and the wrist bone. Here, this is your saddle joint. See, it is allowing movement like this one, something like washing utensils. See, this is your saddle joint. So these are your various joints present in the human body. Here, hip joint, and here these two consist of ball and socket joint. Now this is your gliding joint. It is allowing movement here, this way, this way, this way, this way. See how one bone is gliding over other bone. Next one, we don't have this bone in your NCERT. This is your saddle joint, which is present here in the fifth metacarpal of your thumb and your carpals. And next one, here you have your hinge joint here and here. See these patella here, patella. These are patella. In the previous diagram we have I don't have to show you. Sorry, I didn't have the patella to show you in that diagram, so I am showing it here. This is your patella, knee joint, and that joint is hinge joint. Here pivot joint, here neck, here 1 2 3 4. Yeah, that is your pivot joint. It is something like a screw. If this is your vertebral column, a screw like this. Okay, so that is it with joints. Now we have a last slide, guys. Please stay back. Last slide will be completing. I'll be completing it fast. I'll be not reading anything. Now, myasthenia gravis. It is an autoimmune disorder. Sorry, I haven't read the heading. Yeah, it is disorders of muscular and skeletal system. Now we'll be studying about this. Myasthenia gravis, autoimmune disorder affecting the neuromuscular junction, leading to fatigue, weakness, and paralysis of skeletal muscle. What is neuromuscular junction? It is a junction between the motor nerve and muscle, skeletal muscle. We have seen there. Now coming to the second disorder present is muscular dystrophy. Now remember, dystrophy destroy. It is a genetic disorder in which muscles are degenerated. Now tetany, it is caused due to low concentration of calcium ions, and it causes rapid swamps in your muscles. Now arthritis, it is an inflammation of joints. We have second one, other type of inflammation of joints. It is due to the accumulation of uric acid crystals called as gout. Now coming here, this you have to focus a little. Osteoporosis, it is an age related disorder. Characterized by decrease in bone mass decreases and increase in the chances of fractures. We have our old people, like our grandpas, they have the increased chances of fractures. If they just slip a little, then they would have fracture. This is due to the decrease in bone mass, and it is called as osteoporosis. And it is generally in female, it is generally caused due to the decrease in levels of estrogen, hormone, which helps in formation of ovum. So that is, guys, it is a place for hard work. Let's put something. complete it. We have completed locomotion chapter, we have completed microbes chapter, we have completed plant growth and regulation chapter. So we will be having MCQ series from tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So as I said, please revise everything and then come to the MCQ session. That will benefit you definitely. So this is Vamsi signing off from BioLab. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you like more, hit that subscribe button. It takes a minute, guys, not even a minute, it takes a fraction of seconds to hit that like button. But for me, it has taken 35 minutes in order to record this video. 35 minutes only video recording, but the previous time which I have took to set everything like that, it takes sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, like that. So it only takes a second for you hitting the subscribe button, or it only takes a second for you hitting the like button. Enough. It's small encouragement. Then we forget, then we YouTubers, then not only me, like me, many YouTubers feel very happy. So thank you guys. Yeah, thanks for watching this full length video, and this is Vamsi signing off. Have a great day further.